I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz.
The internet is buzzing with President Trump roasting the hell out of people at the L. Smith dinner, including leftist Senator Chuck Schumer, who was right next to Trump. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters, because truth conquers. And something that I do believe conquers everything but truth is humor. That's why if you're rooted in lies, look at maybe some far leftist people. They appear to have no sense of humor. They certainly can't make anybody laugh because they're not coming from the number one principle in comedy, which is the truth principle. That's why comedy can help awaken people to truth. So when a freedom fighter, especially someone like President Trump, gets on a roll making people laugh, I think it's worth taking a look at. So we're going to take a look at some of the roast highlights where President Trump is roasting other people. And I think it's worth mentioning, like, I can't imagine the schedule he has where he's campaigning, he's traveling all over, and he's doing a million things that aren't on camera as he's running for president, just trying to save America. But he takes time to go to this dinner when Kamala Harris refused to. She was invited. So let's take a look at President Trump doing some roasting, starting with him setting up Senator Chuck Schumer, who you will see sitting right there to President Trump's left. Sets him up here.
So I'd like to thank Your Eminence very much, and members of the clergy, so many people I know. Speaker of the House Johnson, what a job you're doing.
And now,
he's done a great job. Senator Schumer, good. Yeah, I supported him. I don't know. He used to say that's true, and now I'm not sure he would, but I gave him his first check from an office in Beach Haven. And I was very proud of it. I don't know about lately. No, I was. It was his first check. He was running, and I said, he's a good man. Senator Gillibrand, thank you very much. Thank you very much for working hard. Governor Hochul.
now I like that. He went light. We're going to get to him knifing Chuck in just a second. But I like that. Obviously, the tensions between left and right in the U.S. politics have never been higher. But I like that gesture where President Trump is like lightly roasting him, talking about memories, gives him a pat. There's smiles. I appreciated Chuck Schumer's demeanor back at him. And he goes in a little harder. Not so much at Chuck, though it's directed at him, but it's more of a sword of criticism at the lunatic left. Let's check that out.
Coming in very, very strong a certain way. I won't tell you what way that is, but Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
Now, if anyone on the left is offended by that, then you have to rethink your narrative. Like, well, he's making fun of, like, Chuck Schumer could be the first woman president. That's so disrespectful. Of course he never could. But your narrative says he could, actually. All he has to do is just flip the script in his mind and say, what's up, y'all? I'm a woman, and he too could become president. Now, let's look in rapid fire at some more of these highlights. And by the way, when we're done, we'll see what the Harris-Walz campaign had to say about President Trump doing this roast.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas.
And I just really am still appreciating him doing that Tim Walz period joke, because Tim Walz is a joke. It needs to be mocked. And as much as President Trump doesn't do the politically correct thing, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised to see this joke coming out of President Trump's mouth, which, by the way, disclaimer, I would imagine President Trump wrote none of these jokes. I'm sure he had a joke writer, and you can see he's clearly reading off a page, and kind of to be expected. Like, the guy's not going to take 9 hours one day to pretend he's a comedian writing these jokes, even though I think he'd make a really good comedian with all those disclaimers. I loved it. Let's see more. We'll get back to this in just a second, but first, as you know, things are obviously getting crazy out there right now, and I think now is a good time for me to remind myself and remind you it is very important to take care of ourselves. And that starts with our health. Whether you're wanting to burn more calories to get in better shape, or you're wanting to detoxify yourself because we're swimming in a sea of toxins, or you're wanting to de-stress yourself because life has gotten stressful, here's one of my favorites. The Bond Charge Infrared Sauna Blanket. Nothing else does so much to improve our health all at the same time. Boost your metabolism, boost your energy, detoxify yourself, melt away stress, and sleep better. I used to be the type of person that would sit around hoping I would feel good. But now I like to take those matters into my own hands, and the Bond Charge Infrared Sauna Blanket helps me do it. I do 30-minute sessions 3 times a week, and I always get out of the sauna blanket feeling recharged and better. It's super powerful, heats up super quick, and it's convenient. It's the most cost-effective, space-efficient sauna system on the market. That's why I love it. Bond Charge ships worldwide in rapid time, comes with a 12-month warranty, and they offer easy returns and exchanges. And for extra savings, all Bond Charge products are HSA, FSA eligible, giving you up to a 40% tax-free savings. When times get chaotic and stressful, that's when it's most important to take care of ourselves. And to do that, go to bondcharge.com/JPReacts and use the discount code JPReacts to get 15% off all Bond Charge products. Enjoy, my Freedom Warrior friend. Now, back to the topic at hand.
There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think I've actually done that in parody videos where the White Dudes for Kamala, you got to consider their wives and what their wives' boyfriends are thinking. Because you guarantee their wife has a boyfriend, because the White Dudes for Kamala have zero masculinity because they're all brainwashed into believing masculinity is toxic. Therefore, you have beta males eating a steady diet of soy, wearing their sweater vests.
A major issue in this race is childcare, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep them away. That's a nasty one.
Dude, that's beautiful, actually. And I can't believe the room, who, you know, they were on board with that, the roast as part of this dinner. But I can't believe the room was just like, oh, it's true. It's true. Like, President Trump wasn't the guy impregnating Kamala Harris's husband's nanny. I think he was married at the time. President Trump didn't do that. He called out the guy that did it. The room's like, oh. It's like, yeah, like the guy shouldn't have done that. That's horrible. I'm just the one saying it. That is a nasty one. But I think one more time for the people in back before we get to Kamala's response to all this. Chuck Schumer, one more time, ladies and gentlemen.
Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum.
You know, at this point, you know what's coming, but at this point, Doug, I don't even know who this guy is. He's a leftist puppet senator, but he's got to be sitting there just like hating this. He doesn't know what's coming. He has to look somewhat happy, which I appreciate that demeanor, but he knows he has to look happy or else it's just like a bad look for him. And by the way, I also love the positioning of this. President Trump is literally standing over Chuck Schumer, position of dominance.
But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
By the way, let me know your favorite joke from this little comedy set of the roast President Trump did. I think the period one is the best. I didn't think men could have periods, and then I met Tim Waltz. But also, I kind of think the Kamala, Doug, her husband, man, boy, kind of man, lady, man. I don't know if Kamala's husband's an actual man. He did impregnate the nanny, so I guess that's the evidence. But I think the joke about that, it's got to be at least tied for number one with me. So that and the period one, he is just doing what I do my best to do, which is mock and ridicule that which needs to be mocked and ridiculed, which is anything that is intentionally trying to obliterate truth. Now, the Harris Waltz campaign, do you think they wrote in and said, hey, that was pretty good. We have a sense of humor. We can laugh at ourselves. He's just ridiculing everything that they stand for and Kamala's degenerate husband. But no, it apparently was a less than complimentary statement they put out. Here it is. Statement on Trump appearance at Al Smith dinner. I don't even know who Al Smith is. Below is a statement from Harris Waltz 2024 Rapid Response Director MR Mousy. Like, yeah, we need a rapid response from the Harris Waltz campaign, like cutting edge information coming in. Like, we've been waiting for it. I don't know why they have a rapid response director, but they do. Their response from the Harris Waltz Rapid Response Director on Donald Trump's appearance at the Al Smith dinner tonight. Here's what they said. Donald Trump struggled to read scripted notes written by his handlers. That's fact check. False. Like, he was definitely reading scripted notes. But as far as struggling, here's their narrative. Well, like what Biden was, they've been trying to deploy that against Trump. Like, I don't know. He seems mentally not with it, right? Like, man, he can't put together a straight sentence. It's like, yes, he can. That's all he puts together. Repeatedly complaining that he couldn't use a teleprompter. That was his opening line, and I think it was meant to be a joke. That's how much they have a sense of humor, by the way, these leftist lunatics. He stumbled over his words and lashed out when the crowd wouldn't laugh with him. I think that's referring to when he said that's a nasty one, which is actually Trump being self-deprecating, not lashing out at the crowd. This is just 1984 lies. The rare moments when he was off script... Like, now they're like, oh, they're criticizing Trump because he's rarely off script. They're pretending that Trump does what Kamala does. She's never off script, and once in a while when she is, she looks dumber than she normally looks. Nonetheless, here's her statement. The rare moments when he was off script, he went on long, incomprehensible rambles. Again, they're just describing Kamala, reminding Americans how unstable he's become, describing Kamala. And of course, he made it all about himself. He may refuse to release his medical records, but every day he makes it clear to the American people that he is not up to the job. So Harris Waltz, Rapid Response Director, thank you for your statement that is as irrelevant as your campaign has become. With that said, that is President Trump's roast, some of the highlights from it. I appreciated it, especially his humor was very blatantly directed at the left. Amen to all of that. Let me know what you thought of all the jokes and your favorite joke in the comments below. I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, keep laughing.